evening and welcome to your Friday, October 4, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Two remanded for abduction of man on Main Street. Stricter measures needed for LIAT as it seeks re-entry into Guyanese market, says VP. GECOM meets with ABCEU country reps on 2025 elections. Guyana will soon need over 6,000 persons to work in healthcare sector, says JAGDEO, and increase in cervical, breast, and prostate cancer recorded locally. Now for the news in detail. Two men accused of abducting Joshua David, also known as Bricks, were remanded to prison today. Here is Luana McAllister with our lead story tonight.
Alpha Poole and Osafa Peters appeared before Magistrate Faith Magusti at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday, where they were jointly charged under the Kidnapping Act, Chapter 1005, for abducting Joshua David, also known as Bricks. They were not required to enter a plea to the indictable charges. Both men, represented by attorneys Glenn Anuman and Everton Singalami, were seeking bail, but their lawyers argued that there were no solid evidence connecting Poole and Peters to the September 26th abduction, noting that neither had been captured on CCTV footage from the scene. Anuman also emphasized that the duo had willingly surrendered to the police, demonstrating their willingness to cooperate with the investigation. However, the prosecution opposed bail, citing eyewitness accounts that allegedly placed the two men at the scene of the crime. The prosecutor also raised concerns that, if released, the men might flee or tamper with evidence, especially since the victim is now believed to be dead. Magistrate Augusti granted the prosecution 1 week to produce evidence linking the men to the abduction, and the case will be called again on October 11. In the meantime, the duo was remanded. The charges come after a tumultuous legal battle early in the day. Poole and Peters were initially released from police custody after Justice Nicole Pierre ruled that they had been unlawfully detained for more than 72 hours without being charged. Attorney Singalami, who secured their release, warned that he would seek contempt charges if the police pursued charges after the High Court's ruling. Nevertheless, the men were brought to court and charged hours later. The abduction of Joshua David, captured on CCTV, occurred on Thursday evening when he was forced into a vehicle outside No Thriving restaurant on Main Street, Georgetown. The suspects, arriving on motorcycle and in a car, were last seen driving toward the east coast of Demerara. Police had also issued a wanted bulletin for Aaron Allen, known as Katz, from West Rheinveld, Georgetown, Wayne Barker, 34, from Lot G, Norton Street Lodge, Georgetown, and Dwayne Griffith, 26, from Lot 68, Williams Street, Kitty, Georgetown. A sixth suspect, 36-year-old Damian Barlow, is also wanted. The Evening News understands that the men have since surrendered to police. Luana McAllister for the Evening News.
Vice President Dr Bar Jago has emphasized the need for stricter consumer protection measures for LIAT 2020 as deliberations continue on that airline's application to re-enter operations in Guyana. Tamika Garnett reports that his comments come amid ongoing public concern over the airline's predecessor, LIAT 1974 Limited, which was liquidated in June 2020 and left many Guyanese passengers owed substantial sums.
Responding to questions from the Evening News at his weekly press conference on Thursday, Vice President Dr Bar Jago stressed that there needs to be increased consumer protection going forward. JAGDEO pointed out that many countries, particularly in Europe, have implemented legislation to hold airlines accountable for their performance and ensure customer rights are respected. Acknowledging the consumer concerns as valid worries, JAGDEO said he will be speaking with the Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Onuj Waldron, to explore better protections for the Guyanese public against potential airline failures.
We clearly have to step up on consumers' protection. We need to start looking a bit more at how we protect people who are flying and what the obligations of these airlines are. LIAT, I don't know about the details and the configuration, whether it's backed by the governments of the Caribbean, etc., or it's a totally private venture. And therefore, I don't want to comment on that matter. The best person to do so will be Minister Edgell. He may know a bit more about the application and how it's being processed there. But clearly we need to do more in this regard. I intend to have a discussion with Minister Onej on this matter about protection of the Guyanese public.
LIAT 2020 was created in 2020 as the successor of LIAT 1974 Limited after that company was liquidated and placed under a court-appointed administration. 4 years on, the fate of many of the company's former employees and creditors remains unresolved, and the situation offers little clarity on when these debts will be settled, if ever. The Consumer and Competition Affairs Commission, CCAC, currently has 112 reports from Guyanese consumers who are owed money by LIAT 1974 Limited. The last update from the court-appointed administrator, Cleveland Seaforth, indicated that LIAT remains under court administration and is unable to issue any refunds. Public sentiment toward the rebranding of LIAT as LIAT 2020 is mixed, with many consumers recalling their negative experiences with the former airline. In fact, a lot of Guyanese are still owed large sums of monies by LIAT. As the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, GCAA, reviews LIAT 2020's application to resume flights, last month the body called for the public to submit any objections they may have. That process closed on September 25th. Reporting for the Evening News, Tamika Garnett.
The Guyana Elections Commission has initiated discussions with representatives from the U.S., British, Canadian, and European Union missions in Guyana regarding support for the upcoming 2025 general and regional elections. Let's find out more from Tamika Garnett.
Speaking with the Evening News via telephone interview on Friday, it was GECOM Commissioner Says Gunraj, who shared that the body has initiated discussions to explore what forms of electoral assistance could be provided by the ABCEU countries, including the potential deployment of observer delegations. Gunraj expressed optimism about the upcoming discussions. The GECOM Commissioner indicated that following the meeting with the ABCEU representatives, GECOM would deliberate on the specific support required before formally reaching out to these missions.
At this point, it's a matter of considering sending delegations and electoral support. Traditionally, we have received assistance from them, but at this point, the discussion is to determine what format. After having a discussion with them, the next step is to discuss and figure out is for them to discuss what is the for us to discuss what we want. Then we'll make a formal request to them.
During the tumultuous 5-month-long elections in 2020, the ABCEU missions had played a crucial role in advocating for free and fair elections. Their observer teams monitored the electoral process closely, emphasizing transparency and credibility. The 2020 elections in Guyana were marred by significant controversy, with widespread allegations of rigging, drawn-out court battles, and a protracted national recount that extended the electoral process over several months. Following the March 2, 2020 elections, results were not officially declared until the end of July, showing that the elections were won by the People's Progressive Party. President Irfan Ali was finally sworn in on August 2, 2020. Reporting for the Evening News, Tamika Garnett.
Amid claims of misappropriation of funds at the New Amsterdam Town Council, the mayor is denying that corruption exists under his watch. In fact, he said he will not be condoning any form of corruption in the Town Council. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael has that story.
After disclosing to the media on Tuesday that Councillor Carol Trimbagot was suspended from the New Amsterdam Town Council for 3 months, Mayor Wainwright McIntosh says he will not be condoning any corruption at the council. However, addressing the media following the statements made by Mayor McIntosh, Trimbagot said there are many unanswered questions as it relates to the way the municipal funds are being spent. These concerns were highlighted at a press conference held by the People's Progressive Party councillors on the town council, but the mayor has since defended himself.
The actions of Councillor Trim Bagot have consistently disrupted this process, leading to a breakdown in communication and cooperation among council members. The decision to suspend Councillor Trim Bagot is intended to serve as a reminder of the responsibilities that comes with public office.
The issue of suspending Councillor Trim is because of the financial irregularities that we're experiencing in the council.
The council believes that this suspension will provide an opportunity for reflection and a chance for Councillor Trim Bagot to reassess her approach to her role within the council.
I am going to be relentless, and I'm not taking this time to reflect, to go back into council, to adhere to the mayor. I am putting the mayor on notice. I would be coming back into council if it means using not only the resources through the governing body of the local government and the commission, but through the courts. This mayor has to understand that it is not going to be business as usual.
One of the issues Trim Bagot says she is seeking answers for is the municipal basketball court, for which $2 million was spent to refence it and a further $2.1 million to resurface it. However, a total of $6 million was budgeted for the project.
I want the mayor to come out to the general public and let us talk about the basketball court. The $4 million that was used from the coffers to do that court, the $2-point-something million that is still owing to the contractor. We need to find out where that money is.
We would have paid the contractor 45% of that. And we did not pay because when we visited with the contractor, we all would have stated our dissatisfaction with the level or the quality of work that was done. We wrote the contractor on several occasions. We invited the contractor to our statutory meeting. He promised to complete or to remedy the defects. Unfortunately, those were not done.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Coming up, Guyana will soon need over 6,000 persons to work in healthcare sector and government monitoring AI impact on local jobs. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
I am Simone Ford, and I'm the owner of Siege Eco Clean Services. I provide my services to the oil and gas sector. We provide janitorial services which are environmentally friendly, so we produce healthier homes and healthier workspaces.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. As efforts continue every year to raise awareness about cancer and early detection, the Ministry of Health has revealed that the country has seen an increase in at least 3 types of cancer. Michael Henry tells us more.
In fact, our statistics at the Ministry of Health show that in 2020, 2021, and 2022, breast cancer incidence ranked higher than all other cancers in Guyana. In 2020, there were 123 breast cases. In 2021, there was 144, and in 2022, it was 186 cases. So you can see how the numbers are slowly increasing.
Director for Non-Communicable Diseases for the Ministry of Health, Dr. Lashmi Lal, at the launch of Pinktober 2024, hosted by One Communications at the Pegasus Corporate Center Conference Room on Friday. She noted that there have been increases in prostate and cervical cancer in Guyana.
Right behind breast cancer, prostate cancer, which is 96 cases in 2020, 104 in 2021, and 129 in 122. So you can see, if you look at the cancer registries data, you're going to see a sharp increase in the 3 prevalent types of cancers, which is breast, cervical, and prostate. The Ministry of Health is committed to ensuring that each person has access to necessary screening, diagnosis, and treatment options. Over the past year, we have made significant investment in public health infrastructure, equipping more regional hospitals with mammography services by the end of this year, and ensuring that critical cancer medications are available in our public health care system. But we must continue to build on these efforts. We at the ministry could not do this alone.
On this point, Ian Lewis, Director of Brand and Voice for One Communications, emphasized the importance of corporate partnership in the fight against cancer.
This year, under the theme, Many Hearts, One Fight, our commitment remains stronger than ever. We will continue our efforts for all of Guyana to donate funds in support of the treatment and care for those affected and to support the ongoing efforts to raise awareness across the nation. My friends, Pinktober is not just a moment, it is not just a movement, it is a cry.
Pinktober has been one of the telecommunication company's most impactful corporate social responsibility initiatives since its inception in 2017. This year, under the theme Many Hearts, One Fight, the company is continuing its mission to raise awareness and support for cancer fighters and survivors across Guyana. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
The country will soon need over 6,000 persons to work in the local healthcare sector, according to Vice President Dr. Bar Jago. Luana McAllister has the details.
We will need about 3,000 persons to work in the 6 hospitals that will come on stream by the first quarter to the second quarter of next year, about 500 per hospital. That includes cleaners, porters, drivers, a whole range of people.
Vice President Dr. Bar Jago during his press conference on Thursday. Currently, new hospitals are being constructed at Lima Region 2, the Kendron Region 3, Diamond and Enmore Region 4, Bath Region 5, and Skeldon Region 6. China National Pharmaceutical Group Corporation, a Chinese state-owned enterprise referred to as Sinopharm, is rolling out this massive project. Each hospital will span 65,000 square feet and equipped with 75 hospital beds, laboratories, accident and emergency units, modernized imaging capacity, operational surgical theaters, and outpatient facilities. According to JAGDEO, additional job opportunities will become available in the healthcare sector when other hospitals are opened. He referenced the €149 million pediatric and maternal hospital at Ogle, East Coast Demerara, and the $161 million new hospital in New Amsterdam. He also spoke about the hospitals being constructed in the hinterland regions. These are in Lethem, Maruka, Kamarang, and Kato. JAGDEO said when other hospitals like those in Bartica and Linden are fully refurbished, more workers will be needed to support the expanded range of services being offered to the public.
Like the ones in the hinterland may just need 100 persons because they're mainly diagnostic centers. major state-of-the-art diagnostic centers and hospitals, but large, smaller population. So when you add those two, plus the refurbishment of Linden and new hospital at best now we are looking at, but the refurbishment of places like Linden and Bartica, etc., and the existing hospitals around the country, you're talking about another 3,005. So that will be a lot.
It is the government's intention to transform the local healthcare industry into a world-class one. President Dr. Irfan Ali has said that by 2030, Guyana will offer healthcare services that are internationally recognized. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
Meanwhile, as the demand for labor rapidly expands locally, the government is nevertheless monitoring the impact artificial intelligence will have on the job market. The International Monetary Fund has warned that nearly 40% of jobs across the globe could be affected by the rise. According to Vice President Dr. Bar Jago, this is already happening in the BPO industry. Here's what he had to say on the matter.
There's one thing that we have to look at. It's these call centers around the Caribbean. I saw 2 in Jamaica were closed. Some of the call centers here I've seen already, because people are losing business abroad. So they claim that they're very sensitive businesses, and sometimes they lose business based on the quality of work, but that's not the main factor. What is happening globally is that a lot of people there's a reorganization of the business, and a lot of AI is being used now to perform the functions that people used to perform like as individuals, like answering phones and stuff like that. They're using bots and all of these to perform those tasks. So AI, that's one of the negatives of AI. It will displace large numbers of people from labor-intensive industries. They will become more capital-intensive and, well, not so much capital-intensive. They'd employ less people in these areas. So we have to constantly look at those people, the ones who may lose jobs. I spoke with Ashni Singh and the others already. We see if we need to retrain people and to find other opportunities for them. So we will have to work with people to observe them who might lose jobs. So we are looking in these areas. We have a greater possibility here because you have so many job opportunities in the city, in Region 4. And most of these call centers are in the Region 4. So we have a greater possibility of absorbing the labor quickly. So we're paying attention to that issue too.
The Indo-Caribbean Federation has announced plans to establish a library at the David Rose Special Needs School. Find out more in this Kelroy Williams report.
President of the Indo-Caribbean Federation, ICF, Ralph Tamish, in an interview with the Evening News, spoke about the work of his organization over the years in Guyana.
While we were here this year, it's customary that we have the Blind Institute, where we go there every year. Every year I come there, I visit that, where we give them lunch, we give them cash, and also the same thing we did in Berbice, because I tried to do things in each county. We selected about 40, less fortunate kids that we did something for. We did that on Wednesday, where we give them food and also give them gifts, and also cash also we give them.
The Federation also recently renovated the buildings that houses the Guyana Society for the Blind. This year, the Federation has plans to establish a library at the David Rose Special Needs School.
We also look at the same time about new projects that we want to embark on. One of the things we're looking at is that the David Rose School, that I went there, met the headmistress, and something we'd like to do is put in a library, because I think there's a need for that there. You know, there are 180 something kids there, and I think that would provide good service for them, for the kids. So we're going to look into that, and when I go back to New York, discuss it with my executives, and we will proceed from there.
While the Federation has hopes of expanding its work in the country, Tamish explains that there are a number of obstacles standing in their way.
The challenges is here in Guyana. We are, when we were doing the Laguan Hospital project, the project was supposed to last like 3 months. It wound up being 8 months because of the shortage of labor and people, not going to work, and we got to keep on top of them and all the time. So, and it's difficult when you live in New York and trying to come here. I mean, trying to get things done.
The ICF is a charitable organization which was founded in 1984 by several community leaders of Trinidad, Guyana, Jamaica, and Suriname. Kelroy Williams, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, October 5, 2024 at 5 hours 30 for a period of 1 hour and 15 minutes. Meanwhile, the Burbisford Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 5 hours 20 on Saturday, October 5, 2024 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Malaba guides South Africa to first win, and Lusignan Golf Club hosts highly anticipated Trophy Stall Golf Tournament tomorrow. These stories coming up in this evening's sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
I am Bernard, and this is MacCorp Rental. Call me on 622-4037. MacCorp, let's do the work.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all check all them wild meat what them man bringing there before y'all pay for it, yeah? It's supposed to be some guana, deer, turtle, labo.
Hey! You get your commercial wildlife license?
I done catch couple labo. All I gotta catch right now is 2 bush cow and 2 wild hog.
You get your wildlife chopping license? Hello! You got to get your special wildlife license.
If you're a wildlife trapper, vendor, breeder, or collector, ensure you invest in the correct license. Being compliant prevents you from exorbitant fines and allows you to invest with major stakeholders. Persons interested in any form of trade in wildlife should obtain the relevant licensing from the Guyana Wildlife Conservation and Management Commission.
When and everything went good? You understand I have to pay 1.5 million in fine.
1.5? Just cause you're not a license? What? That's why I should get your license! Why?
Get the perfect collection of Stanley hand tools today from Sylvie's Variety Store. Quality and reliability in the palm of your hands. From wrenches, measuring tapes, hammers, saws, socket sets, and screwdrivers. With constant perfection in designs and quality, we update our stock to get you the latest product line. Sylvie's Variety Store gets you the right Stanley tool for the job.